Thabo Mbeki was removed.
In 1 week, on a Thursday or Wednesday, Julius Malema was on television, and he says, Mbeki's history. Watch this space. There was an NEC coming. I don't know what had happened, but I got the distinct impression that some people involved him. I regarded him as a youth who needed, to be guided. But it was clear some people had discussed with him the fate of President Mbeki, because he pronounced on it before the National Executive Committee sat that very week.
Wow.
And so when the National Executive Committee sat to deliberate over these issues, and the Saturday, the meeting ended around 1:30, 2 a.m.
Wow. Yeah.
with the decision that President Mbeki must be recalled. And I'll tell you what had happened. Judge Nicholson gave a judgment and impugned that there was political interference in the Zuma matter.
Yeah.
And then in cabinet, the decision was taken that this judgment must be appealed. So, of course, the NPA had already given notice that it was going to appeal the judgment. And so that President Mbeki would then join that appeal. Of itself, I mean, the remark by Judge Nicholson was not a judgment. It was a remark in the judgment. That's why if it was a judgment, Cabinet would have had to dissolve itself if the determination was that, yes, this Cabinet interfered in a legal matter. But because it was a remark, not a determination, Cabinet continued. So we continued as Cabinet at the time.
Yeah.
However, the appeal processes were filed. Now, JZ, who was happy with the judgment of Nicholson and accepted it, got very upset that it was being appealed, and interpreted that as a continuation of a fight against him. Was very, very upset. And it's against that backdrop that the NEC then sits to decide and discuss whether President Mbeki, should be recalled or not. Now, the Constitution of the Republic stipulates the basis for a president to be removed from office. I think it's Section 89 and so on. So all of those were not available to the NEC. So the NECs couldn't follow the Constitution, had to recall him as a member of the ANC. And so the NEC then comes to that decision that he must be recalled.
What was that meeting like? I mean, to the extent that you can share. I mean,
it was like a complaint session. Yeah, it was like a complaint session. I mean, each and every speaker saying how President Mbeki, affected him or her, one point or the other and so on. It was like a complaint session.
Wow.
Somewhere in my archives, I think I have copious notes about that,
Oh, my goodness.
as to who said what.
Is that publicly available?
No, it's not,
Not yet.
publicly available.
I was going to say I need to see
No,
this
it's not
archive.
publicly available.
Wow.
Yeah,
One
but
day-
anyway,
One day we'll see it.
anyway, at the end, the decision was that he must be recalled.
Yeah.
And then,
Must have been such a...
and this is like wee hours of the morning.
Wow.
So it's then decided that I must accompany Kgalema Motlhante to go and convey this decision.
Goodness. So you were there to convey.
Of course, because I was in the cabinet and so on. So I said, fine. So we agree with Gwede that no, we'll hit the road early in the morning around 6 to Pretoria to go and inform him. To my surprise, as I was driving to Pretoria that morning, I see posters. There was a newspaper that was established, a daily newspaper, which had some Nigerians in it. I remember whether it was called the Daily News or something like that. But all I remember is that Kgalema Brown was working for that newspaper. It was
Right.
a newly established newspaper, in fact. So as we were going to Pretoria, I see the posters already
Wow.
of that newspaper
Yeah.
indicating that the NEC had taken a decision
Sure.
to recall Thabo Mbeki. So clearly, Kgalema Brown, may her soul rest in peace, received a call from people who were in that NEC for that newspaper. I think it was called Daily News or something.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't last actually. Anyway, we get to Pretoria, we see President Mbeki, and we convey the news. And
What was that like, if I might ask? I mean, what were your memories of having to actually tell him, and how did he take that news?
Well, he took it well. I mean, in a sense, I mean, I think, the writing was on the wall. He had read the writing very clearly and was, I think, psychologically prepared for it.
Interesting.
Because we didn't have to, give explanations and so on. We just had to say, this is what the NEC has decided and so on. And that was it. Yeah, that was it. And then, of course, he then had to address the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it.